Welcome to Reform the LA Way. I'm Monica Garcia, and on today's show, our focus is the Ambassador School of Global Education. Joining me to discuss the success of this school are Principal Gina Kim Cavalli and teachers Grace Kim and Tiffany Ko. Welcome, ladies. So your school, as at the former Ambassador site, today is the RFK Center, and we have 6 small schools, all of them pilot schools, reform schools, some K-12 schools, some elementary schools, some just high school. Gina, your school is great.
Thank you.
It is great. We are so proud of the work that all of you do. Tell us about this school.
Well, Ambassador School of Global Education has been opened 2.5 years, and we are part of Asia Society's ISSN network, which stands for International Studies Schools Network. We receive support from the Educators Cooperative, and we're very proud of our international school. We have very innovative programs going on at the school site to support student learning.
So what is that relationship with that external, the Asia Society? Tell us a little bit more. How does that work, that they help you?
Our infrastructure, there are about like 30 some, I think even more, international schools throughout the United States, and a lot of them are secondary. We're one of the few elementary international schools. They support us by giving us the infrastructure, working with us on our global competencies, helping us design with the design of our curriculum. They support us with teachers training. They support us with coaching. They support us from the start with actually designing the school as it is today.
Wow, and what is that experience for teachers?
Well, it's been great. I know the very first year, well, and every year thereafter, we've been able to go to Washington and New York just for training, just to collaborate, just to network with everybody. So it's been a really great experience.
And it's been a wonderful collaboration with each other. It was a lot of hard work, but definitely worth all the hard work that we put in.
And what is it like to be a pilot in relationship with an external support? What is that like? So for people who don't know, what does it mean that you are on this campus, you're sharing it with 5 other schools? The fact that you're a pilot means you get autonomies to design some of this curriculum, right?
As a pilot, I would say, we have autonomies, but 2 autonomies that we were able to really use fully is, first was the autonomies over curriculum, and the second is autonomies over staffing. And how do we describe it? Do you want to talk about the staffing a little bit with Elect to Work?
Well, I think it was really exciting because, you know, not only were we opening a brand new school, but then we got to really come together and decide, like, you know, which would be the best fit for the students that we would be servicing. And so when we were well, in order for us to get hired in the first place, we had to get interviewed, and then there was a panel of people interviewing us. We had performance nights, and then we had well, time permitting, we also had demo lessons that we had to do. So it was, the teachers were definitely hand-selected to service the students that we are servicing now.
And the interesting thing is that the teachers, once we had the core members come on board, they were a very important part of the process of hiring the rest of the teachers. So there's synergy, there's a lot of, it's like a puzzle. They all kind of fit together, and they all bring something different to the table. So they were very a part of each other's being there, reason for being there.
Sometimes I like to say pilots are teacher-led academies. Do you think that's true?
Yes.
Definitely.
Teacher leadership is core to the functioning of your school.
Yes, and we all put in our different strengths, right? We have
Talk about
something. Well, from the beginning, we like she mentioned, we were all involved in the hiring process, so we know each other's strengths, and we do a lot of collaboration. We meet weekly to plan our curriculum, and that's been a lot of help.
And there's a lot of trust too. I think, like, I trust that, you know, Grace is going to get done what she says she will do, and I will do, you know, what I say. So I think there's a lot of trust amongst ourselves, and we know that, you know, we are all there for the good of the children, and we, I guess, we count on each other for that. You know, and because we are this collaborative model, I think that we constantly communicate about our students, and so it's not like my advisory student, like they're all of our students, you know. And I think one of the things that the students commented on was that they love coming to our school because everybody knows their name, you know, like from the administrators to the supervision aide, like they just feel like it's a very community, it's like a home, right?
And how many students do we have at this school?
We have 380.
380. And that helps, right?
Yes. And to talk a little bit more about the teacher-led part of it, the teachers obviously every year put together the elect to work agreement with me, and then it goes to the governance council and they confirm it. The staff here is great. The teachers, they use elect to work as a way to guide their work and to see who is going to stay and who's not. That's how we keep track of who is willing to participate in the hard work that happens at the site versus people who may not be necessarily ready for that. So in our particular elect to work, we have, and you can add to it, we have teachers who will tutor any student who needs it, regardless of whether or not they're paid or not. They have, and this is all teacher generated and with my participation, but it's all teacher generated. They have home visits, so I go to home visits as well as the teachers.
All the teachers visit all the students?
All the students who come to the school get a home visit because all kindergarten and first grade teachers do home visits. The rest, as they go up, is as needed, and they do get home visits.
Yeah. So you get a welcome, let's set up the mission, let's talk about how, or tell me, what do you discuss at a home visit?
Why don't you talk about it, Grace?
Well, when we make home visits, it's really to hear from them, to hear what their expectations are when they first enter the school. Also develop some goals, learning goals for their child. And also to just learn more about their family situation and see how we can be working together as a team, the family and school.
And what have you heard from parents why they choose your school?
Well, they love our language programs because we haven't mentioned that yet, but all of our students learn another language besides their home language in English. We have Spanish, Korean, and Mandarin. So they love that about our school, and also the international focus that we have.
And so the international focus, you said there was a network. What do you think that adds to the students' experience?
I think that being in an international school, we are really preparing them. And I know people are talking about the Common Core right now, but we are really pushing forward with that. When you come into the classrooms, we had visitors from other countries, nationally, locally. We constantly have visitors who come to watch the program that we have at our school. And the two things that they point out when they come to our school is that the students have high level of self-efficacy. They have, they're very engaged as well. So when we work with our students, having the international focus allows them to develop their 21st century skills. We call it global competencies.
Beautiful, beautiful. I think I was at the first assembly you all did, and you said hello in 28 languages. Yes? That was your school. Tell me about the dual language program. How did that come about? Why did you think that was important? Who can share?
Well, being in the heart of Koreatown in Pico Union, I personally teach in a Korean dual language program. We were able to secure a $50,000 grant from the Korean Education Center since we opened. And using that, we've been able to really allow the students to experience a different culture as well as their own. We provide a lot of after-school enrichment programs, including taekwondo, Korean drumming, Korean fan dance, calligraphy, and as well as field trips. So it's not just in the classroom. We're trying to really teach them a lifestyle and a different culture.
And I think what's great about that is that it's not exclusive to the kids who are in the dual program. Like all the other students have access to it as well. So even if the student is in the Heritage Spanish or in the regular EI programs, they still can be a part of all the extracurricular activities.
So help us with the Heritage programs or EI. What does that mean?
So for just the English immersion programs, they are in a regular English class, but then they get we have the FLES Mandarin model. So they get the 30 minutes of Mandarin Mandarin instruction. And so that's why, like Grace said, most of our students get a second, sometimes a third or fourth language just coming through our school. And you know, what I really noticed about our students is it's really helped them appreciate other cultures. You know, they're very open, and it's not, you know, when they meet someone who's Asian, it's not automatically, you know, oh, you must be Chinese. You know, like they're very, you know, they soak everything up, and they really, I feel like they really learn to appreciate other cultures and themselves.
And they're inquisitive. They want to learn.
Yes.
They want to learn another language. Yes. You know, they're not giggling when they hear a different language. They're actually excited to understand what they're saying. So it's exciting to see.
What's that experience for the teachers in this multi-language, international environment?
We're so proud. We're so proud. You know, for me personally, I get to teach Korean language, which I'm personally proud of, and I teach it to non-native Korean speakers, and that gets me really excited.
Yeah, I think just to hear them speak, you know, I mean, I tell them, I'm like, gosh, you guys speak better than my nieces and nephews, you know, and they're supposed to be, you know, Chinese, and so really, it's just to hear them speak something that is so like native to them, and take ownership to it. You know, I mean, like they would, you know, when we're deep in our Mandarin lesson, they would actually greet, you know, people that they see, regardless of whether or not they speak, you know, Mandarin. You know, they'll say, oh, hi, teacher, you know, and so it's really, it's exciting and fascinating all at the same time.
And I should add that the parents are very excited. So we also have parents who are non-native, you know, for example, Korean speakers who will greet us in Korean, and they're learning from their children.
안녕하세요.
Yes. And we've the Korean dual language program also has a parent-child study center, group that meets every Tuesday after school. The parents and the children, the parents teach each other Korean.
And we were able to secure the Mandarin grant.
Yeah, so then, and one of the reasons we're able to do as much as we do is so we applied for the Hanban grant through the Confucius School Network, and so we've, for the last 2 years, I guess, have been awarded about $20,000. And that has also supported our program in that we were able to get a lot of materials. We were able to have, you know, we're celebrating Lunar New Year coming up.
It's Year of the Snake, I think.
Yeah, it is. And so the kids right now are learning how to do the lion dance and the ribbon dance, and so they're really like deeply immersed in the culture. So,
wow. So we've heard about trust, we've heard about teacher collaboration, hard work, right? A lot of work. We talked about reaching to parents. And in what ways do you see the students responding to this environment?
As I said, they're so engaged and they're self-directed. They're excited about learning. And when you go into the classrooms, you'll see the students engaging with each other. We have heavy use of technology, and students are very self-driven when we do projects. They're researching, they're conversing, they're formulating, they're analyzing. They're doing a lot of active, self-directed learning with the facilitation and guidance of the teacher. So.
And you know, I mean, I know I have students who come to school when they're sick because they're like, I don't want to miss out, you know, and so I think that really speaks volumes in itself. So.
Absolutely. Students don't want to miss out. We'll be right back with my guests to continue our discussion on the great work done at the Ambassador School for Global Education and how it benefits our students' education.
For their generous donation, their absolutely wonderful donation of tools and equipment to our division with a value of over $1.4 million.
We say thank you, Harbor Freight. We want to partner with all our allies, teachers, administrators, and students in Adult and Career Ed. Folks want a chance to get ready for a job. We need to do great things. LA Unified will keep fighting to make sure we have great programs for our career and adult education division.
Any kind of support we can get from the community is so much appreciated because it makes a more successful program. It shows the students that the community and the business and industry that they're taking classes for is supportive of what we do.
We have a high unemployment rate in the country, and yet there's so many jobs that are going unfilled because they need skilled, educated workforce that we don't have right now. And so the idea of industry investing in public education so that we have a more highly skilled, better trained workforce, it's just a natural. And you saw it here today, the investment in the education of these folks can transfer them from a job of making minimum wage to $89,000 a year as a starting utility worker. It's incredible. So the investment thesis is just obvious, and it's exciting.
The things that we offer help people in society and help them support their families and help them have better self-esteem. And schools like this are so impressive because that's what we provide for them.
Ideally, I would like to start my own business, and I'm really looking forward to getting my career going here. Also, there's two other women in the class. So I'm one of them. I'm representing for them all and my classmates, and I'm really excited because a lot of the photovoltaics 3 students are really helping us out and showing us and already getting us out in the field, putting up the solar panels, teaching us all the names for the tools, and then when we go back to the classroom, we learn all the technical aspects of it, all the terms, the formulas, and I'm really excited. It's only my 3rd day, and I'm ready to go.
Welcome back to Reform the LA Way. We're talking about the amazing work at the School of Global Studies. So help us. Oh, the Ambassador School of Global Education. So what other pieces of your program really help students achieve?
Well, you know, earlier Grace was talking about the home visits and, you know, seeing how the students are at home. And I think that that really lends itself to, like, seeing the whole child. And one thing we do at our school is every morning we do council, where the students get into a circle, and, you know, depending on what the topic is, it really allows us to you know, get to know our students really, really well, and then allow them to express themselves and share things, you know, that they would want to talk about. So
for people who don't understand council, give me a little more details about how does that happen?
So in their advisory classes, the students would sit in a circle, and then we have a dedication ceremony. They can dedicate the council to whoever they want. It could be, you know, their mom, you know, their sick pet, you know, whoever they feel like they want to open it up to. And then depending on the topic, they have a talking piece, and you can add in anything you want. And so depending on the topic, so we've been talking a lot about bullying lately. Right, so if the topic is bullying, we might talk about, okay, well, you know, talk about a time when, you know, you were mean to somebody. Because we want it to be very reflective and it to come from the students, and so at the same time teach them something that they can walk away with. You know, so it's a safe place where they can open up and they can talk about what it is that, you know, is bothering them that they would not get an opportunity to otherwise.
Wow. Wow.
And initially when we designed the school and opened the school, we brought in counsel for the students as well as for the staff, and we're rolling it out to the parents. The reason we brought in counsel to the school was because we wanted to establish a strong culture and foundation. Students were coming from all over the area, from many different schools. And so when we first initially opened, we strategically, the teachers and I, thought of how do we make sure that everybody is under the same mission and vision. How do we create a strong culture? How do we create an environment where students are engaged with other people? So we together formulated our school's guiding principle. And how many do we have? Like 8. So the students can recite them by heart, even the kindergarten students. And that's the same language we use throughout when we speak with the students, the teacher to student, student to student, administrator to student, and the teachers and I talk. So using the guiding principles that we created in council is a long time ago, before we had cell phones and before we had TV technology. You know, people in lots of different cultures used to circle up and talk about things and learn from each other, share stories and use stories as a way to learn, to create communal knowledge, to draw from each other's wisdom, and to problem solve. The kids come with so much that they already know, and they have stories. They all have stories. And when we want to ingrain the guiding principles in them and ingrain what it is that's expected of them, we use stories and their knowledge to solidify the lessons for them.
And what kind of training does a teacher need to go through, or how do you help teachers lead these kind of discussions?
You want to talk about it?
Well, we've had training in council. We do have it at the beginning of every year, every school year, and we actually have them during our professional development time. So the staff is.
We have to go through it ourselves. Like we have to as a staff, we do our own council, and that's really helped us, I think, bond and get closer. Because like I know all about Grace's dog, and she knows all about so it's like it really like bonds us as a staff too, and so then that leads into to the classroom and everything else.
And we receive support from our partner group, Ojai Council in Schools, which is a part of LAUSD, and I believe they're in a couple of other schools in the district, and the first year they granted it for us. They were very generous, and after many conversations, they're really excited to work with us. The second year, this is the third year, they have a grant to work with us and our feeder school, which is another ISSN school on campus, and they are working with us to do a K-12 council in advisory, working with all the students so that we can have articulation K through 12.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. And what do you see the benefit of a student being able to be on the same campus, K-12? How is that helpful for them?
Well, they don't have to go very far. But I think like being able to have like big brother, big sister, just a corner away, like a couple steps away. And I think for them to feel like, because I teach 5th grade, and so my students 4th and 5th, my students still come back, from like 6th grade and 7th grade. It's nice to see them grow, and it's nice to see them that they like this is their home base. They know that they can still come back, and if they need help, we're here for them. So I think it's great for the community just to be able to be all there.
That's fabulous. And do most of the students stay for the secondary program?
Yes. Yes.
Really?
Yes. And we have started to speak with and work collaboratively with the 612 school, which is an ISSN school. And they have a very solid group of students who are very interested in working with us. So we've recently started a big brother sister what would you call it, program, where we have students in our school who might need older role models, positive role models. We match them up with a secondary student who's very responsible and who can mentor them a little bit.
So that's some psychological, social support that buddy or mentor offers.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
And we're only able to do that because we have that span.
Yeah. So. That's right. That's right. And how do you? So you were telling me that you have a block schedule also, and what was the purpose of that strategy?
Every teacher is an expert. We have the language arts block, the math block, and also the projects block, which is science and social studies. And so each teacher, all 3 teachers will collaborate and work together. So we each have our advisory class. However, the class is going from teacher to teacher throughout the day. So all students get to experience 3 different teachers.
And when you hear feedback of your school, what's the next level that you want to get to? What is the thing you're working on to, grow the richness that you've created?
We have, I think in the short time that we have been open, we were able to establish a lot of partners and community support. We've really expanded and reached out to the parents, so we have a very strong parent volunteer component to our school. They're very supportive. It's just a work in progress. We're just building. The one thing we're working on right now is specifically, we're working on lots of things, but one specific thing we're working on is assessments. Because we have such a different program than everybody else in the district, we have to specify and really create our own assessments. We are using some of the district assessments because it does make sense for our program. But when, for example, we have Singapore math, and so we have to create our own assessments for that. We have project-based learning, so we have to create our own assessments for that. So we're really working on assessments and relating it back to our Learn to Work. The teachers and I decided that this year we would really work more closely on developing the teacher evaluation portion, working Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, I think that, you know, our entire staff, we all we all want the best for our, you know, our students, and then we all want to continue to grow as educators and, you know, as learners. And so we, as a staff, we talked about this and we said it would be great if we can adapt what, you know, LAUSD is already doing, and then like learn it ourselves so that we can then be like, you know, peer coaches to each other, and we can then grow together. You know, so that it wouldn't all just be, you know, Gina's responsibility. Like, we want to take ownership to our own learning and our own, you know, growth.
So the area that we're trying to develop further, now that we've developed quite a bit in the area of culture, curriculum, staffing, and putting in systems in place, is creating a real, true community of learners. We have work on in horizontal articulation times for the teachers to plan and collaborate together. So we have learning walks. So we are moving towards having the teachers give each other feedback, peer observations and such.
That sounds so wonderful. I'm remembering, did you convert into a pilot status? That wasn't you. Okay. So then what recommendation would you have for any group of teachers that want to see new and different? Because you're offering new and different in LAUSD. What's the recommendation?
I think if we, to start, it's just to, like, everyone has to be clear about the mission and the vision that we have. And so I think that's just...
And be on board.
Yeah, and be on board.
And be ready to work hard, but the payoff is so great. So great when you see the kids.
And also to take care of ourselves too, at the same time.
Very important.
Say more.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about how important it is, well, how great it is that we built this school, this wonderful school, but also how important it is for us to sustain this, and that requires the teachers to also, you know, think about themselves and you know, and take time for themselves also.
Yeah. Very good. Well, I'm so excited. I'm so excited about all what's yet to come. So we're not at 100% graduation. We're definitely moving there. Thank you so much. I hope you continue to celebrate your good work. I hope that you continue to encourage other professionals in our system to bring their idea forward and challenge the district to, you know, give space to do what works best for the community. So thank you all for being here today, and thank you for joining us. If you want to learn more about the reforms taking place in the LAUSD, or you can contact me, visit lausd.net as we continue to reform our schools in order to create the best educational opportunities for our students. It requires all of us to do our part. I'm Monica Garcia. Together we will reform education, achieve 100% graduation, and make the LAUSD the best school district in the nation.